5 days. How many crossings does this make?
This was my first.
I got some.
Most likely a U-boat.
He's trying to slip under us!
Fire!
That was a clip from Greyhound starring Tom Hanks. The film follows a Navy captain on a journey across the Atlantic to join the Second World War. With more on this and some other new releases, I want to bring in Richard Crouse, film critic and the host of Pop Life on CTV. Richard, I feel like it has been forever since you and I talked about new movie releases.
I know. Other than the odd text here and there, we haven't done this for months.
A long time. It really is. All right. Are you excited about Greyhound with Tom Hanks?
I am excited about this movie. This was originally meant to be a big screen release, and it feels like it. When you see these great helicopter shots of these ships looking like specks in the vast Atlantic Ocean, you realize that this was designed to be seen on a much larger screen than you have at home. But I'll tell you, it works really well one way or the other. It is the story of a first-time captain of a giant ship that is in charge of a convoy of 37 other ships in the early stages of the American involvement in World War II. The ship is helmed by Commander Ernst Crouse, and he is trying to avoid Nazi U-boats that are peppered all the way through this very perilous journey that he's on. That's the entire plot right there. It is start to finish, tense action. It starts about 4 or 5 minutes into the movie and does not let go right until the very end. And there's all the stuff that you expect from a big wartime epic like this. There are torpedoes and lots of gunfire and all that kind of thing. But the really exciting stuff is Tom Hanks's performance here. He's on the helm for 90% of this movie, barking out orders. And it is just watching his mental process as he tries to figure out how to avoid these U-boats, how to keep his men safe. That's absolutely fascinating to watch. So I gave this one 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Wow, okay, Greyhound. Next, we have a new superhero flick starring Charlize Theron. This one's on Netflix, and it's called The Old Guard.
Yeah, this one is the beginning of a franchise, which is something that they let you know over and over and over again in the script. So it is the story of a group of immortals led by Charlize Theron's character, Andy. They've been around for centuries. They're warriors that fight injustice, and they've been everywhere. Every major battle for the last 1,000 years they've been involved in. So they're pretty good at this by the time we get to meet them in present day. They come across another young woman who is an immortal. She's the first one that they've come across since the War of 1812. So they recruit her into their ranks, and they're kind of teaching her the ropes of what it's like to live this life and the responsibilities that come with it. When an evil doctor working for Big Pharma starts to kidnap each of the members because he's looking for a cure for death. So it is a fight for freedom. It is more than that, though, a way of having one movie feel like a long trailer for whatever the next movie is going to be. It is a film that is relentless in setting up the franchise appeal of The Old Guard. The action scenes are good. Charlize Theron, good as always, but I just gave this one 2.5 stars because I didn't like the way it was constantly pointing towards the next movie.
Gotcha. Okay, and the last one this morning is Fisherman's Friends, not to be confused with those lozenges for a sore throat that taste awful.
This is there's nothing really awful about this movie. In fact, I like this a lot. This is based on a true story of some fishermen from Cornwall, England, who were spotted by a record executive singing on the pier and in the local pub in their tiny little fishing village. And they get a record deal, and it turns out to be a sensation. This movie doesn't have a cynical bone in its body. It's formulaic. It's kind of predictable. You see where it's going a mile off. But I really like that it's about finding happiness, about finding contentment. And when everything in the world, the real world, seems like it's caught in a dumpster fire, I think a movie like this that has a really good, strong beating heart is really important. So I gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Love it. All right, Richard Crouse, great to see you. We'll talk to you next week.
Nice to see you, absolutely.
We'll take a short break and be back with more right after this.